Hi, I'm Christy.
And I'm Erin.
We are a doula and a midwife who have been supporting women during the childbearing year for close to a decade.
Through our work, we've learned that women and families are strong, and their stories are incredibly powerful. Becoming a parent, however it happens, has the power to shape us and the kind of world we live in.
This is a story about the power of creating families. This is a story about our culture and how we can grow stronger, more resilient human beings. We have found that something amazing happens when women and families have support during pregnancy and after.
We've discovered that community is vital to the health and well-being of new families, and that parenthood need not be a solitary journey.
This is a story about what is possible when the journey to parenthood is honored as transformative.
And when whole communities take responsibility for the next generation.
The time to tell these stories is right now, to remind parents everywhere that they are not and should not be alone.
This trailer is a small glimpse into what we know will be an empowering and inspiring look into how we can support new families.
This is an investigation into existing support structures that are available in our culture and an exploration of how things can be improved.
Hello? Hi, how are you? Okay, what do your contractions look like? What? Okay, and how long has it been going on for?
You're focused, intensely focused on that physical part of it. To have that emotional support right behind you, right next to you while you're doing it. You don't realize in those moments what it means until you've done it and you think about it. I think for me it really made a tremendous amount of difference.
My mother passed away when I was younger. I knew that she wouldn't be there in the flesh, but I felt like having another woman there would be kind of like having that kind of maternal guide a little bit.
She was there with me every moment and helped to quiet that voice in my head that kept saying, I'm not sure I can do this.
Just that calming presence, somebody who has seen this happen so many times, and someone who has been with so many different mothers who have gone through this process.
As a professional, she just seemed prepared for anything because she had visited it so many times.
That was really comforting. It was really comforting to know that there would be somebody at my birth who had sort of seen it all and felt comfortable with it all.
The research is bearing this out more and more, that they're showing lower incidences of needing instruments during birth, forceps or vacuums or even a C-section. And they're also showing lower rates of postpartum depression and higher rates of satisfaction.
The mother needs the baby and the baby needs the mother actually for brain development. And I really strongly believe that mothers need other mothers and other women for their brain development as a mother also.
And that can't be underestimated, the importance of that. And I think we all know that in other cultures and in other times, we would have been through it ourselves. We would have watched our older sisters, we would have watched our cousins, we would have watched our best friends maybe, go through this. But we don't have that today. We don't have that. It's all sort of shuttered away until it's our turn.
We, I think, have lost touch as a culture with the normalcy of birth.
I always just think like knowledge is power, you know what I mean? Being empowered by knowing what to expect and eat, not trying like to make her afraid of anything, but just kind of like this is what you could see and this is normal. This is what is expected and it's going to be okay.
But a lot of folks think that I'm expected to do this by myself, just pull myself up by my bootstraps and off I go. And if I do need help from other people, that somehow I'm a failure as a parent. And that's really tragic because it's just not the case.
Even the most emotionally attuned and incredibly wonderful partner finds themselves often completely overwhelmed and out of their depths.
Major motivating factor in hiring a doula was actually not to support myself, but to support my husband, who was just sort of freaked out about the whole experience and had a lot of questions.
He didn't have the hormones getting him through the sleep deprivation. He had a doula. He had a doula holding him up and coaching him and giving him relief.
My pregnancy hasn't gone the way I thought it was. I didn't think my boyfriend was going to leave me at 4.5 months pregnant. I didn't think my daughter was going to have a heart defect. So I pretty much have let anything go. I have a birthing plan. I'm, working with you. I'm working with the Western medicine and hoping for the best, hoping to have a beautiful natural birth. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I've let that go.
Everyone has like this perfect birth plan, and literally within an hour, because of the induction, it was like, I didn't want an IV. Well, I got an IV because I was being induced.
Had it gone a different way, had I had the drugs, had I had a C-section, had I had any number of, bazillion complications or things that could have happened, that would have been my story instead. You know what I mean? And I think that's one thing I hope that women can, we have so many reasons that we're given to feel like shit about ourselves, and that shouldn't be one of them. How we ultimately make it through childbirth should not be one of them.
There is no right way out there in the world. There's no secret that somebody else is going to tell them. That this is really such an individual journey. It's their individual journey with their baby. It's their individual journey with themselves. That every baby is different.
The stay-at-home moms versus the working moms, or the breastfeeding moms versus the formula feeding moms. And then we can have the mommy wars and we can all fight. But I don't think we're really fighting, and becoming a mother has driven that point home for me because I'm meeting a lot of other new moms, and nobody's fighting on the playground. People are just all trying to figure it out.
They're online, they're looking at these bloggers, and some perfect blogger is out there saying how, the wonderful meals that she's creating and her babies are perfect and she's knitting her own clothes. So we have this ideal in our mind that I can achieve this, that there's some perfect standard that's out there that we're supposed to be achieving.
In one of the pictures, the woman is nursing the baby, and then at the bottom of the page, she's giving the baby a bottle, and it all looks seamless and bucolic, and there's no issue there that maybe the baby won't take the breast or maybe the baby won't take the bottle, and these images become so destructive.
I had a really hard time breastfeeding my first guy. It took me almost a month to kind of get it. And there were times, I was crying there. I put so much pressure on myself, and I just kept thinking, I am failing at this. And they said it's supposed to be so natural and so easy. And it's just not. It's just not as natural and easy as everyone thinks. And thank God for some lactation consultant nurses who eventually sat me down and gave me some great advice that clicked.
We really didn't have any consistent support postpartum. After my first child was born, the recovery took me a long time. It was the first experience of giving birth. My body took a while to heal. While my husband was working, I didn't have someone there to be like, you need to sleep, or you need to give me the baby, go to the bathroom on your own.
I know this, if I did not have the support of my family through these early, these initial months, I would not have been able to do it. I know this for sure. I would not have been able to do it. This experience is not just about an individual. It really is about the community, be it, no matter how small that community is.
be accessible to all women. It tends to be available only to this select few.
There's a real need for women to feel taken care of. And I think that when they feel special and taken care of and supported in that way, that they can really allow their body to do what it is they think they know it can do. And then in postpartum, whether it's for breastfeeding or just taking care of the baby, I think that allows them a greater sense of confidence.
Birth is about more than just depositing a newborn onto a table at a convenient time. It's the way that we were designed to pass through the gates into motherhood, to experience this transformation and this transition, to prepare us for this different life that will never be like the life you had before.
I was so scared of becoming a parent because I was so scared of everything I'd give up, and I didn't think so much about everything I'd gain. And that part has been surprisingly fulfilling and really wonderful.
Christy and I have learned so much about, vulnerability not being weakness, but being the point of strength, being the point of power.
If we want to take back anything from this hyper-masculinized society that we live in, it is this, because this is an untouchable experience that can never be replicated. It's about being in charge and retaining autonomy and not acting from a place of fear. That's what I advocate for.
Please help us tell this story. This is your story.
Erin and Devin and I will be blogging about our filmmaking journey and keeping you informed about all of the exciting developments, from expert interviews to stories from real people like you.
Support the film and join the conversation. Thank you.